And yes, so you talked about you and teaching and just being open with your students in order to connect with them. I found in my experiences with, teaching Japanese students, a lot of students do tend to be more shy than what we're used to, maybe in America or maybe perhaps in Jamaica too. So I'm just curious.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm just curious, how do you go about perhaps connecting with your students for people watching or listening who are teachers in Japan or want to be teachers, and they're probably like struggling trying to connect with their students. Do you have like some like secret sauce or something like do you have like some like wise words or some story you can share with us about how you made efforts to connect with your kids?
I don't know if I would call it wise words, but I do have a few things that I do. But first, I would just like to say, like, if you're having trouble connecting with your kids, don't feel like you're the only one. Because
Right.
even now, I feel like me and my kids have a pretty good balance of like, we're cool, but also it's still really hard to connect to kids, connect to Japanese kids in particular, because you don't speak their language. So sometimes they'll be
Right.
trying to relate something to you, and you realize that Japanese is different based on who you're talking to. So the kids speaking Japanese is a whole different Japanese than if you were talking to someone else, because it's kind of like with us teenagers in America and Jamaica, we have our own slangs that the older people don't use. I didn't
Right.
realize that Japanese kids had those slangs as well.
Oh
So they're
yeah, like
talking,
yeah,
and I
bye.
have no idea.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like, what?
bye.
What are we
Agree.
talking about? Like, I didn't hear that word.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But other than that, something that I try to do whenever I go to class on the first day, I always try to show the kids that making mistakes is something that happens all the time. So, for example, with my elementary school students, I'll put on the board like a picture of the sun, then with the word sunny, a picture of the rain with the word rainy, and a picture of the clouds with the word cloudy. And I'm like, what is the weather like today? What is the weather like today? With the actions and gestures and stuff. And they'll say, oh, it's sunny. And I'm like, oh, sunny. And then I'll point on the picture that shows rainy. And I'm like, sunny, ne? And they're like, no. Oh, I'm so sorry. Muzakashi.
Ah,
Cloudy. Then I point on cloudy. They're like, no. I'm like, oh, Muzakashi. Sunny. And then I point on sunny and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, your English is so good. My English is so bad. So I feel like something that's important for the kids is to realize that even for us, we can make mistakes.
yes.
And also, I sometimes use Japanese in my classes. I'll try to repeat what the students say, or I'll ask them what stuff mean in Japanese, and then
Mhm.
I'll try to repeat it, even if it's really difficult for me to say, because I want them to see me making mistakes in their language. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's so difficult to learn Japanese, just like they think it's so difficult to learn English. So they're like, wait, Toby's making mistakes. So now I'll just try, and I make sure that my classroom is always conducive to learning. So
Mm.
when a kid makes a mistake, when a kid makes a mistake, no one, I try to get my kids to learn that we don't laugh at mistakes. It's like, it's still a good shot. You gave it your best shot, and that's fine. So I still like give them a high touch, and I'm like, yeah, a high five. I can't
High
English.
touch, high touch, high touch for that one.
Oh God, yes. I'll give them a high five and let them know that like you tried and I see you and I respect you for doing that. And I realize that just because they know that I'm never gonna be like, no, that's wrong and just move on. Everyone's trying. Everyone wants to get the most out of the experience. And I've always realized that with me, I like a good vibe, even in my classroom. So I realize that if I'm having fun, then more than likely my kids are having fun. And if they're having fun, I can bounce off their energy, then I can get energy to have fun as well. So yeah, I just try to make it fun all around.
Wow, yes, I love that. I love that so much. So like modeling like mistakes, like having the students see you also making mistakes makes them feel more comfortable too. I totally agree with that as well. Like sometimes, um, sometimes I'll like write like katakana or like hiragana on the board, and like sometimes like I'll forget, or like I'll I'll make a mistake or something, and they'll see that, and then we both
Yeah.
just like ha 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 whatever. So yeah,
Yeah.
um it's really really good to do. Yeah, it makes them feel, yeah, more
No.
comfortable. Yeah, especially when I feel like there's so much shame surrounding like making mistakes, especially here. So
Yes.
yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
so good. Yeah.
If all
Wow.
else fails, bribe them with stickers.
Oh yes.
Shamelessly bribe them with stickers.
Stickers. Yes, stickers, chocolates, high
Oh, my
chews.
school, we're not allowed to give them candy.
Oh
Maybe because
really?
they're like kids,
Oh, oh yeah, maybe
but
they
that's
could like
fine.
they can maybe like choke on it or something.
Yeah. So I'll
Oh
hype up my stickers too. I'm like, these are famous, amazing stickers from Jamaica. One of a kind. I flew it on the plane here.
special delivery just for you. Oh, that's so
I didn't even
cute.
get them.
Is that
The
Amazon
stickers
Japan?
are from America.
Oh, from America.
Wait, are my students gonna watch this? Guys, I'm kidding. It's totally
Jamaica exclusive, y'all.
oh
No problem. Oh wow. Oh well, it sounds like your classes are a lot of fun. I want to sit on your class. It seems like so much fun.
every time
Wow.
someone sits in on my class, I get really nervous and I feel like I make a lot of mistakes because I don't know, like I feel like the Japanese humility has really rubbed off on me really, really strong. So anytime someone gives me a compliment, I am very awkward. I'm like, they're like, oh, that was a good class. I'm like, no, no, it's not. Like,
Oh,
how do I
you're
even
turning
take a compliment?
Japanese. You turned Japanese. You've been here for
Oh
too long. Oh my
my god. Don't
gosh.
worry, y'all. I'm leaving soon.
Oh. Oh wow. Oh my gosh, I have another question about you teaching at an elementary school and being Black. Like I've watched what's his name on Instagram,
No,
Peter,
exactly who you're talking about.
Pat,
Pat, the
Pat.
teacher.
Yes, Pat,
Yeah.
Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched you on Instagram, and I think I saw like one, like maybe like very long time ago, like one video or something where he was like, where the students like came up to him and was like, oh, chocolate, like he looked at him, was like, oh, chocolate, chocolate, and then like licked it, he like licked himself or something like that. Like, I don't know, do you have like, have you ever ran into a situation like that where like students are just like, oh, like, why are you so dark?
So
Or mm.
for me in Kobe, I haven't really had any weird situations like that, which is funny because in Yamaguchi, I used to teach at a high school for 3 years, and I had a lot more of those situations there. Like kids would be like, "Oh, can you like take it off?" I'm like, "No, I can't. Come on, I can't take it off,"
Yeah,
or
right.
stuff like that. And it's funny because the kids for me are never normally the ones who ask the really dumb questions. It's like adults, and I'm like, no, I'm not here to parent you. I get paid to answer questions from the kids, but not you. So no, bye. But with me in elementary school, I really don't have a lot of trouble. Like I have a kid who calls me a devil, Oni-chan. I used to have that, but I'm not sure if he was just playing or if he thinks I'm like, I'm pretty sure he
Actually
was
a
just kidding
demon.
around.
Oh, I
Yeah,
really hope so.
I'm a little bit. I do operate on demon time at times, but that's a different.
Demon time. Oh, I relate.
Oh
Oh, oh,
my
yes.
god! But now that I have these braids though, this gets me a lot of attention. Kids will be like playing in my hair or always touching me. I have this one kid who always like slaps me on the butt, which is very weird.
I
I'm
had a
like,
student
wait,
like that.
so a lot of kids just like touch me all over, and I'm like, this is not
Is
okay.
yeah,
But
is
also,
this
it's
yeah. Like I think like, oh, if this would have happened in America, oh no, this would not fly. Yeah.
God. I'm like, there's no personal space in elementary school because once the kids have a liking to you, they kind of feel like, okay, we are friends now.
Oh,
I'm
right.
walking, and someone will just be walking behind me and just whip my hair in their hand. I'm like, I'll stand on the board trying to put stuff on the board, and the
Yeah.
kids are just leaning on me. Like, I'm like, can I use my hands? I'm like, it's so weird because these kids are so great, and then you'll go out into public, and then the adults are the ones who are staring or refuse to sit by you on the train, and the kids are just like vibing. I'm like, okay, I love it, but I hate it. I hate it, but I love it. Stop.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. Yeah, the kids sound very, very sweet, challenging, energetic, super Genki, maybe too Genki sometimes, but very, very sweet. Oh my gosh. Sounds so lovely. Definitely, I think the reason why I've been able to stay for so long is definitely because of the kids. They are, yeah, they are my hearts. They really are.
They are
They give me
everything,
life.
really.
They really
I remember like I just want to share this one little heartfelt story.
sure thing. Please do.
So I was having a really hard day recently because, well, a really hard week this week because, like, the kid who kept slapping me on the butt, like, the first time it was fine. And then I'm like, oh, but he keeps doing it. So I should probably, like, talk to his teacher so we could discuss good touch, bad touch. So, like,
Right.
I don't mind you slapping me and running away. Like, it's a game and we play together. You slap me, run away, then sometimes I'll chase them or act like I am because I cannot run. And I talked to the teacher and she got a little bit mad at me because she was like, well, the kids only touch you because they love you. But I'm like, okay, ma'am, but boundaries, you know?
Right.
And I was talking to my supervisor about it. I'm like, well, this is kind of difficult and stuff. And I was also talking about the fact that I didn't like how I taught with a particular grade. And they came to like observe my class to see what I was talking about because with him I'm fine because I'll give them suggestions and then they're like, yeah, this works, so let's do it your way or let's do it this way that's different from my way, but also it works for both of us. And I was talking to my supervisor about how I was having difficulty with these two situations,
Right.
and he came to the class and he was like, do you guys like Tomi Sensei? Like they were just talking with the kids because
Mhm.
two teachers came. So one teacher came to kind of manage the classroom while the other teacher got to talk to the classroom teacher. And they were
Mhm.
like, do you like Tomi Sensei? And they were like, yeah. They're like, what do you like about Tomi Sensei? And the kids were so nice. They were like, oh, she's so funny. She's so pretty. Always fashionable. And I'm like,
Yes.
stop. Stop.
So
And when
true.
kids say
Yes.
it, you know they're telling the
The
truth.
truth. Oh yeah, right. That sounds like it's been very eye-opening as far as, working with your students, working with challenging students, working with challenging coworkers. Um, how about your life outside of work? Like you're a gorgeous girl. Like you were so glowing. Like you got a booth thing or something. Like I see you flexing on the gram. I'm like, yo, like who do she got a favorite person or like what's up?
So for anyone So for anyone watching, I am definitely 100% free, single, and disengaged. But
Disengaged. Disengaged.
oh my god! But at the same time, I'm not really dating right now. Um, when I just came to Japan, I was really excited about dating because in Jamaica we don't really have dating. Like you kind of meet a guy, you exchange numbers, you text for a few days, then he's like, "Okay, you're my girlfriend now, and I'm your boyfriend now." We
Oh
don't
well,
do the
really?
whole dating or asking people out. Yeah,
Oh
so
really?
that
Oh
was always
wow.
a TV moment for me. So when I came to Japan, I did a lot of dating in my first year. Like I lived right next to an American base as well, so
Oh,
I had my pick of
oh
guys.
yes,
Okay.
fine pickings. Yes.
So I'm telling you, like every weekend I'd be out on a date, and then I got myself into a relationship, and I wasn't really vibing with it. I realized that a lot of the times as expats here, we kind of go for what we can get instead of what we
Yes.
want,
Yes. Like what's
and available.
convenience. Yeah, available.
Yeah,
Like the first connection or the first site of availability is like, oh yeah,
exactly.
that one.
And
That's so true.
unfortunately, I was the annoying child who was obsessed with Cinderella. So I don't want
Wait,
what's convenient.
the Cinderella with Brandy.
Well, I'm obsessed with all Cinderellas. I've
Oh,
read the book, I've watched every version.
yes. Yes.
Even when she had her Asian dad and a black mom, I
Yes.
still believed it.
Yes. Yes. That's like my dream. Yes. Loved
Yeah.
it. Loved it.
So for me, like I still believe that there's more than just settling for whatever. And the dating pool, especially for us now, like us single people. Well, I'm just out here assuming you're single, but
1,000%.
great. So the dating pool for us single people is just really not it right now. Like
Yes. It's
someone poured some
limited.
chlorine and all the good fish died, and the other fish kind of turned mutants. Like they got ugly. And I'm not talking about appearance because there are some fine ass people out here, but
Yes.
their personality just doesn't match with their everything else. So I'm like, no, I refuse. I refuse it. Please go away, mutant fish.
where the not so toxic fish at? Where they at? Where they at?
I'm wondering too. Someone just poured bleach in our dating pool and I'm like, initially I was like, okay, maybe when I go back to Jamaica, it's gonna be different. My friends in Jamaica are like, no, delete that from your
Yes.
mind. That is never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because I don't know
It's
what's happening, but at this point, I think it's important for me to like love myself and treat myself the way that I want other people to treat me. Because in this generation, too, a lot of people are like seriously so obsessed with being in a relationship, being loved. We have so many baggages and so much that we took from our parents, so many stuff
right.
that we think a guy is gonna heal. And for me personally, I found that doesn't really work for me.
Yeah, does
Like I'll go to the supermarket or wherever and buy myself flowers, or I'll take myself on dates. I go out single all the time. I do my makeup and then I just go out. Sometimes I take myself to like an amusement park and I'll sit on the Ferris wheel by myself just taking pictures because I'm fine as hell.
yes.
And
Yes, you
if
are.
you don't
Yes.
deserve me, I'm not gonna be doing this with you. I'll take myself to the most expensive restaurant, anything that I want. So whenever someone feels like they're interested in me, they go on my no, sorry. Whenever someone feels like they're interested in me and they go on my Instagram, they're like, "Oh, this girl is cultured. She goes on dates by herself. She buys roses. This is how she likes to be treated. So if you can't treat me like that, then just please move along because we're not going to be coming down to meet you. You're going to have to go up to meet
Yep.
me."
Yes. Yeah,
Period.
period. Period. We gotta step up the game. I
Yeah.
love that. Yes,
Yeah.
you are giving yourself the love that you want, that you deserve. So that you don't have to rely on
Yeah.
a guy to give it to you. Like you can give it to yourself.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
for real. Like we're not out here
Yeah.
searching for external validation. We can give it to ourselves.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh
The
my God.
one thing that men have that we want that they won't give to us. No, what? The one thing that men have that we want or need from them, they will give it to us for free. So
Yes.
we
Yes. Yes.
don't really
Yes.
need all the other added baggage either. So
Yes.
there's that.
Right. Right. Added baggage, stress. unnecessary.
For me, I always say like guys are like an accessory. So if I took my necklace off, I would still be gorgeous, but having the necklace on, it kind of highlights the whole outfit. It brings it together. But if I took it off, I still look gorgeous. So
Oh my
it's just
gosh.
a necklace.
Yes. Yes. Preach that, girl. Preach it. More of us need to hear that. Let's go. Let's go. I love
Let's
it.
get it, girls.
Accessory.
We got this.
Yeah, we got this. Yes. Wow. Wow. So I just love that whole message. Wow, that's amazing. That seriously is so amazing. And yeah, I think especially for us expats, it can be so hard to find connections, but if we can connect with ourselves, especially when we are like our most down, if we can connect with ourselves, give us that love that we need, it'll be all right. It'll be okay. And
Definitely.
yeah. And
Especially, sorry, please go ahead.
oh sure, yes, yes. And yeah, I can just see it. I can see it in you, just like on your Instagram and on your YouTube, and just having this conversation right now. It just brings it just makes me feel so warm inside, just knowing that we're not alone in this. We're not alone in this, and we don't have to settle. We don't have to be out here settling, and
Definitely.
we can set our standard. And um yeah, we don't have to compromise ourselves. Yeah.
Definitely. Yes.
Yes.
And the good thing about it too is that we're in a safe ass country like Japan. So you
Yes.
can go out by yourself anywhere,
Oh
anytime,
my
and you are
gosh.
safe.
Yes, that's what I love. Oh, that's how good. I
Let's
think that's
accept that freedom while we have it.
it. I know. Yes, yes. 2 more months. 2 more months before we return to our home countries. I'm going to miss
Oh my
being out 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, just like walking around my neighborhood just because I want to, just because I can, just because I need to move my body, and not have to worry about anyone like catcalling me or like trying to talk to me. Like,
yes.
yeah, yes.
Definitely feel you on that.
Right. Wow, wow, wow. Well, Tomi, I have one more question for you. Um,
Okay.
we've had a really interesting talk about your experiences of dating and of teaching at an elementary school and just being a content creator and just expressing yourself online. And I just have one more question, just for all the Black girls out there who are possibly considering coming to Japan and coming to live and work here, but have hesitations about coming. Like, what would you tell them? What would you tell them? And yeah, what message do you want to share with them?
I guess what I would say is something that my grandma used to say to me. Inside your comfort zone, it's very, very comfortable. And once you get outside your comfort zone, it might not be comfortable anymore, but then you can make outside your comfort zone your new comfort zone. And then it gets comfortable because you create your environment, you create where and how you want to feel comfortable. So, coming to Japan is going to be uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of new, it's a lot of stuff that you probably never experienced before. But at the end of the day, you don't want to look back a couple years from now and be like, oh, I should have gone to Japan when I was younger, or oh, I should have gone to Japan to do jet a couple years ago, or I should have just lived in Japan for a while. So for me, everything is either a lesson or a blessing. So coming to Japan for me this time was more of a lesson. I learned a lot of stuff. And I feel like every step of my life teaches me something that I will be using in the next step of my life.
Right.
So this is just a part of my journey. But every time I'm about to do something or say no to something, I'm like, when I am an old, cute grandma and my grandkids are asking me about stuff like, what did you do? And I'm going to sit them down and tell them about Japan and how I used to live in a country where no one spoke English, or how I traveled to South Korea, or how I traveled to Malaysia. I don't just want to be telling my grandkids about my days in the office as an accountant or whatever. Like, I want to experience life because we only get to live it once.
Right.
And it's important, it's very important to me to see and do and be everything that I want, because I want to leave my mark. I want to leave my impact, even if it's not a big impact, even if I'm not going to be like super famous and everyone's going to know my name. There is a tree in Japan where I scribbled my name on it. So maybe a couple years from now, I can come back with my grandkids. I'm like, see, I told you I was here. Stuff like that. So you just have to live your life for the experiences and do the things that scare you. Because once you do them, you'll probably realize that they're not even that scary. It's all of here.
Right. Wow, Tomi. Wow. You definitely left a mark on me today with this conversation. And I know you're leaving a mark on so many people that are staying tuned and watching your YouTube and following you on Instagram. And yeah, thank you so much for this talk. And if people want to know more about your story and about your travel experiences and whatever you have planned next after Japan, where can people find you and connect with you?
So my YouTube channel is Tomi's World, and that is what it will be for a while. So you guys can find me on YouTube at Tomi's World, or on Instagram at Queen underscore Tomi underscore. And I post on Instagram a lot. Even if I'm not posting like feed content, I'm always posting stories. I'm always trying to show you guys is the quickest way to just get something out there. So I would definitely recommend following me on Instagram and YouTube. Yeah. I have like Twitters and TikTok, but I'm not so active on those. So Instagram and YouTube is where you should follow me.
All right, that's all right. Thank you so much. Well, we'll link those right down below so people can find you. Thank you so much for our chat today, Tomi. I enjoyed
Thank you so
it.
much for having me.
Yeah, have a nice day.
Bye.